pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Louisa, could you take a roll call, please?
Al,
Present.
Teresa,
Present.
Michelle,
Here.
Kate,
Here.
Gladys,
Here.
Dr. Cronin,
Here.
Lauren,
Here.
Juanita,
Here.
Richard,
Here.
and I'm here.
Okay, thank you. We have all board members present tonight. Okay, at this time, we're all excited. We have all these beautiful young people in our audience to be recognized. And we are so happy on behalf of the board to see you here and the administrators that are working with you. And thank you. So at this portion of the meeting, I'm going to turn it over to our superintendent so we can do the recognitions.
Good evening, everyone. Hopefully, all of the students and the parents who are here tonight to receive their child, to have their child receive the CAVE Award. I just want to make sure that the folks that are in the hallway, that they don't miss their moment. So if you can make sure that they're in the boardroom, that would be great. We'll make room. Thank you. It's amazing to see all the beaming parent faces out there. I see a lot of apple cheeks of proudness for the students tonight. We've had an amazing year of our students excelling and achieving, and some of these students tonight are going off to some wonderful places for the next level of schooling and have created amazing opportunities for themselves. So I also want to thank the principals of the middle school, alternative program, and the high school for being here tonight and supporting their students. So I'd like to read a little bit about the first award. It's called the CAVE Award. The CAVE Student Leadership Award recognizes student achievement and leadership qualities. Leadership is a quality that is hard to define and not always demonstrated by all citizens. CAVE developed the below criteria that has helped define leadership, and our principals have selected these students based on the following skills and characteristics: willingness to take on challenges, capability to make difficult decisions, concern for others, the ability to work with others, a willingness to commit to a project, diplomacy, the ability to understand issues clearly, and the ability to honor a commitment. So those are some pretty special qualities. So the students selected tonight demonstrate and embody all of those characteristics. I'd like to call Mr. Dave Kimball up to the podium to introduce his two students.
Yeah, that's right. Good evening, everyone. What I want to do is present and congratulate the two students from Broadview. So I'd like to call up Zoe Pittman and Christopher Pavalis.
They're labeled Broadview. Thank you. Stick around. We're going to take some photos at the end. Next up, Principal of Rogers Park Middle School, Dr. Christy Zaleda.
Good evening. I'm here to present for Rogers Park, and I'd like to present to Sophie O'Connell and Chris Scott.
Next up, Westside Middle School Academy Principal, Ms. Jennifer Blue.
Good evening, everyone. I'm here to present to Roy Duanta and Kulatone Roy.
Danbury High School, and Principal Mr. Dan Donovan.
We always got a little something at the end of ours, but our two students here are Mariam Aziz and James Rivera. Mariam is going to UConn on the engineering track. That'll take her to Georgia Tech to finish up there, and James is going to Northeastern.
Wonderful. And the Alternative Center for Excellence, Mr. John Weber.
Good evening, everybody. I'm proud to present our two recipients from ACE, Navari Droz and Ariana West.
Thank you very much. And there's some wonderful write-ups that are on the table if you get a moment to take a look at some of the backgrounds of the students that just received those awards and some of their accomplishments. I think you'd be very impressed. We don't have time to read them all tonight, but certainly we're very proud of our students who received the CAVE Award. Thank you very much. We'll take some quick photos in the back here. Yep, so we'll start with, in order that we presented, so we'll start with Broadview, then go to Rogers Park, Westside Danbury. So we'll take some quick photos with the students, the principal, and the parents, with our board chair and myself. So come on back. Try to do this relatively expeditiously. Yep.
Middle school.
So Broadview?
Yeah, they both know. They still spell her name, that's right. It's pretty shame that this
Thank you. Thank you very much. Rogers Park?
I think the superintendent's come up. She was in my class yesterday. I went up on her. She's so bad. She said, no, it's not. I said, it is because it's all coming oriented there.
Yes, you should. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, this is good. That's why I can use these. Right up to
Thank you. West side?
What side? Hi, Jeff.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Right on your head. Thank you. Danbury High School.
You look tired.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, that's how I feel.
I got a student in one of my classes. One of the first words comes out of her. So today we had a little scenario where we had teaching resolution, conflict resolution. And the scenario was that there was two individuals on a subway.
You know when he's out for the next class, the next one. He's kind of shaking.
There's more. Mike.
Exactly.
So the scenario was there is passenger in smoke. The smokers are delivering cigarettes. The sign says no smoke. Right? So the role, I wanted to see the bottom line. And so this girl.
Thank you, parents. Thank you for your patience, everyone. Okay, we have one more round of awards. So I had the honor of attending the ceremony in the Amber Room just the other night. It was a beautiful ceremony for students selected from around the state who embody amazing characteristics and scholarship. So we're very proud to present these students tonight. So we'll sort of follow suit again with the awards ceremony in terms of presenting up from the front, and then we'll take pictures again in the back. So the Western Connecticut Superintendents Association, or CAPS program, is in the Western Connecticut portion of the state, and each year they host an award ceremony for outstanding students in each school district based on 3 criteria: community service and service to others, academic prowess, which is relative to ability, and leadership service to the school community. The following students were selected by our principals and recognized at the recent awards. We've invited them back here tonight for an additional Board of Education recognition. I'd like to call up again Broadview Principal Dave Kimball to present the Western Connecticut Superintendents Association Award to their student.
Once again, very proud of 2 individuals that are coming up now, and I'd like to present this to Olivia Zeleda and Kevin Ramos.
Congratulations. Rogers Park Principal again, Christy Zeleda.
Proud to present the pass award to Avery Burke and Kevin Wilson.
Westside Middle School Principal again, Jennifer Blue.
This sounds like a celebrity.
Yeah.
Good evening once again. I'm proud to present the award to Gabrielle Anderson and Xavier Pasquarelli.
Congratulations. Danbury High School, Principal Dan Donovan.
Presenting two of our finest here for you, Ms. Pearl Chia, who will be going to Brown University in the fall, and Stephen Palacios, who will be going to Yale.
Congratulations. And last but not least, the Alternative Center for Excellence, John Weber.
I'm happy and proud to present the award for superintendent to Cameron Maloney. And our board event rep, Casey Joe.
That is absolutely wonderful. And again, congratulations to all the recipients tonight. We'll do some quick board photos in the back again. We'll get one more snapshot and we'll get you on your way. You're gonna go home and study tonight, right? All right. We'll start with Broadview.
Gotta do ice cream today. Calling a bocce.
You know what, we took that facility around here a lot. I know, right? He did. But he did improve the food. No, this is
I'll volunteer. Okay. I'll help her. Three vanilla. How many vanilla? Sprinkle It's disgusting. But it's delicious. It's not. Yes, what you gotta do.
Cheers.
Thank you. Iconic. And coordinating the programming that the facilities for them to when folks don't have over surgery, get in their hospital. And so, did you see this same thing in years ago, 9 years ago? Been there to really yeah. It's a long
She's slouching. She's not great. This is fun. I'm like, oh. Hi. Hug her down, lady. Sure, one night out, all right?
Definitely need that bigger.
Yeah, because the city's got the big
Student awards. Thanks, Dan. A little more frequent. Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, come on, sit. Okay, before we start into our meeting, we would like to welcome Julie. Before we start our meeting for public participation, we'd like to welcome Julie Moreno for taking the seat on the board. And we're excited about her coming on. So Julie, on behalf of the board, thank you. Next on the agenda is
Welcome. Welcome.
public participation. Lauren, would you read the script, please?
The board welcomes public participation and asks that speakers please limit their comments to 3 minutes. Speakers may offer objective comments of school operations and programs that concern them. The board will not permit any expression of personal complaints or defamatory comments about Board of Education personnel and students, nor against any person connected with the Danbury Public School System.
Our first speaker is Janice Anderson.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Janice Anderson. I live at 25 Eastgate Road. I'm here to speak to the board tonight about 2 things. First, I want to express how extremely disappointed I was when the board has chosen to do a regional search for superintendent instead of a national one. While I understand that the board has some legitimate reasons, I still think the decision is short-sighted. As every one of us knows in this room, our district is in dire straits on many levels. To bring it back to the brink and build it into the district we all want it to be, we need someone with the skills and proven track record of doing just that, and turning a school district around. While that talent may well be sitting in the room with us, it may also be somewhere else. We need to cast as wide a net as possible. I realize that it's probably too late in this process to reverse this decision, but I felt it was important for the board to hear this. It may be that the perfect candidate was within the board's reach but beyond its vision. Second, I want to address the distressing situation where for at least the 2nd year in a row, there is no summer school available for middle school students. To quote a district official, while failing to remark all students are expected to go on to high school in June. This is an extreme disservice to students on many levels. While some students, like my amazing daughter, who I'm so pleased for and proud of to see her recognized tonight for her many accomplishments, are intrinsically motivated to learn. Others are not, whether due to a diagnosis of neurodivergence or otherwise. They need extrinsic factors to motivate them to succeed. Some of these kids are very bright, but they know that if they do the bare minimum, that it doesn't matter. That's all they need to do. And not only that, if you think about it, it probably seems to them that they don't matter. After all, what's the point? We're failing to give them, or the teachers that teach them, the extrinsic motivation to fuel their success. Even worse are the students who are not doing the bare minimum, who are working their hardest, and it's still not enough for them to be able to understand the work and pass. The district is simply pushing them forward too, not preparing them to succeed. When I expressed my worries about my son, who's in the former group, I'm told in serious tones that he should be forewarned that high school will be different. To that I say, it may well be too little, too late. And with that comment, I also see that the district is failing me as a parent. Since the day my children entered school, I've had the school district's back. I've had the teachers' back. If there was a call home, there was a consequence at home. Yet when I needed the district to have my back, to give my son and others like him the additional motivation to do well, and really the most basic is entering school, passing, I'm left hanging. As a parent that I'm to be sued by the fact that it is district policy not to give students less than 50s a grade, which ensures that even more students who shouldn't pass do. I can still hope that maybe it won't be too little too late, that his intelligence alone will be enough to bring him up to speed and reset the tone. But for those who the district is pushing forward, with little chance of catching up, it certainly is too little too late. At the high school information session this spring, parents were treated to the horrifying statistic that 1 to 2 years ago, 26%, more than 1 in 4 of our freshmen did not have enough credits to become sophomores, i.e. they did not pass enough classes by the end of their freshman year to rise to their sophomore year. We're also told that moving successfully from 9th grade to 10th grade was highly correlated with whether a student completes high school at all. Is anyone looking
Excuse
at
me, your 3 minutes is almost up.
Okay. Is anyone looking at how many of these 26% did not pass 6th, 7th, or 8th grade? What are we doing to our children? And even to students like Gabrielle, who work hard and pass and succeed, the district is sending the wrong message as well. On the same level, they are being told that what they do doesn't matter. Everyone gets a trophy, everyone moves on. I hope as we address the many aspects of the budget crisis that face this district, we look at the issue both from a funding perspective, of finding money for middle school, summer school, and more importantly, that we're looking at the message that we are sending, moving kids forward when they are not ready.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing your concern to the board. And Amy DeLeo?
The 2 students that are.
Okay, okay. 3 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Amy DeLeo Cedeño, and I'm
We cannot hear you at all.
Good evening. My name is Ira. We are juniors at Greenwood High School. We are part of the multilingual group. The multilingual group was formed by a group of students who are in ESC class at Greenwood High School, and we share a lot of freedom. We are here tonight with our global pastor, Biscuit Club, and some of our other group members. The purpose of the group is to encourage other students in ESC class to read for pleasure and to increase the number of books that are available in their languages. We came together because we saw a need at our school and wanted to do something.
Excuse me, can someone fix the microphone?
Can't hear it.
We cannot hear her at all.
You gotta get closer to the mic.
And speak louder. The purpose of the club is to encourage other students in ESL class to learn progression and to increase the number of books that are available in other languages. We came together because we saw a need at our school and wanted to do something about it. There are approximately 700 students in ESL class at Greenwood High School who speak other languages, and yet there are a limited number of books in other languages available for students.
In 2024, we asked other students in ESL classes at Greenwood High School to complete a reading interest survey that our club designed. 356 students who are enrolled in an ESL class responded to the survey.
That's over 50% of multilingual learners in ESL classes who responded to our reading interest survey. Of these students, over 70% reported that they enjoy reading in their free time. In addition, many students reported that they prefer to read in other languages than English. Therefore, to promote reading for pleasure and to provide students at every high school with books in other languages, we decided to raise money to buy books that we will then make available to all the students. As a result of our efforts, we were able to raise $880. We are here tonight because we wanted to highlight the efforts and dedication of the students in the Multilingual Book Club. Thank you for your time and for all that you do on behalf of all the students in our school district.
Thank you.
Leanne, you have,
Oh, they were together.
they were together. Sarai?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Soraya Bilbao. I'm a teacher at ESL teacher at Danbury High School. And you just heard some of the students. These are ESL students who, as they said, they saw a need in their school. They actually, similar to a capstone project, they identified a need, which is, although they're learning English, they want to continue reading for pleasure in their own languages. So we have a wonderful group of students, MLs, who got together and they raised the money, $880, which they are going to use to purchase books and to make available to all the students. So I do want to, they were very nervous, we've been practicing, so I recognize their effort and their desire to come up here and share that with you. I also want to say, as you've seen me, I've been coming to the board meetings on a regular basis, and I was not expecting this, but every time I come here, I hear all the wonderful things that all our students are doing and advocating for, and it's just so inspiring. And I want to thank you for giving that opportunity to young people to share with you their concerns and what they're doing. With that, I would like to extend an invitation. Tomorrow night, as you all may already know, is ESL Awards Ceremony at Danbury High School. It starts at 6 o'clock. We have over 160 students, MLs, who have attained a GPA of 3.0 in 3 consecutive quarters, who will be recognized. In addition, we have 26 ESL students who participated in the AP Spanish Independent Study Program for multilingual learners again. They met every Wednesday for this whole academic school year from 2 to 4 to prepare for the exam. And they just took it last Thursday. They too will be recognized tomorrow evening. So if your time allows, we would love to have you here and celebrate with us all the wonderful things that are happening at DHS and in our district. And again, thank you for all that you do.
Before you leave, I would just like to say on behalf of the board, thank you. And thank you for bringing the young people forth to express themselves. And I know sometimes we are adults and we want to listen to them. We just want to hear the good words that they were saying. And we appreciate you saying the good words and making them feel comfortable to come here, because we don't get that all the time. And we certainly appreciate that. Thank you so very much for everything you're doing.
Thank you. They've been asking me, I've been meeting with them to practice pronunciation. I appreciate all their effort, and some of the other members coming out here tonight to support their views.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're moving on down our agenda. Consent calendar. Mr. Janella.
Make a motion that the Board of Education.
We need to hear you, Mr. Janella.
Gotta give you a microphone. Again, I make a motion that the Board of Education approve the consent calendar, exhibits 24-118 and 24-119 as recommended and in accordance with.
Motion made by Mr. Janella. Could I hear a second to the motion? Second. Seconded by Louisa. Are there any discussion on the consent calendar? Seeing none, all in favor, could I hear aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion so carried. We have anyone from the educational staff here tonight? Our students? Anyone from DHS? ACE?
Here. Oh, sorry. Thanks, guys. Hello, good evening, everybody. Good evening, Board of Ed members, cabinet, and community members. Thank you for allowing me to represent and speak on behalf of the Alternative Center for Excellence. On Saturday, May 11th, from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock, we held a barbecue to appreciate Joe Pepin and ACE. We had guest speakers including former staff Rick Aselta, Mike Chapman, members from the Old Timers Association, and the Brian Cody Brothers and Sisters Foundation. There was music, face painting, rock painting, and alumni tent, hamburgers and hot dogs, and an ACE merchandise tent. Thanks to everyone who attended the event to support our family at ACE. ACE would like to extend an invite to Board of Ed and Cabinet members to the ACE graduation on June 11th, 5 p.m. at the Broadview Auditorium. A special thanks to Broadview for allowing us to hold our special event in their auditorium. ACE poets, accompanied by Daniela Esposito and Diana DiNardo, hiked Beef River Loop in Washington, Connecticut. During the hike, they sat for 1 hour without talking, texting, or music in order to listen to the sounds of nature and draw or write what they heard and saw. Poets will share their work and have a picnic and lunch together. This is the 10th poetry hike since its inception in 2017. Ashley Conacher, DJ Jimenez, and Alyssa Wojtak will be taking 15 ACE students to the annual whitewater rafting trip up the Hudson River in upstate New York. This outdoor adventure event is much anticipated and will be a wonderful example of experiential learning for our ACE outdoor adventurers. The students will leave ACE on Wednesday, May 29th, and return on Friday, May 31st. ACE Coffee House. On Thursday, June 6th, from 5:30 to 7:30, we will have our 21st annual ACE Coffee House. We begin with burgers, refreshments, and fellowship. The highlights of the evening are the student poetry readings and musical performances. We meet at the pavilion at Hatters Park. All are welcome. Thank you for letting us share the special opportunities that are happening this spring at ACE and great end of the school year. Does anyone have any questions?
No. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a nice evening.
We have a rep from Danbury High School. Okay.
Good evening, Board of Ed. My name is Pearl Chia, and I'm from Danbury High School as president of Board of Governors BOG. So basically, from past month, we've had AP testing, which was wrapped up last week. We've also had spring sports that are currently wrapping up, and the ones that are moving on are entering their championships, SEAC season. Our last principal's breakfast was May 16th in person in Hatters Cafe, which garnered an attendance of 25 people. We recently had Teacher Appreciation Week, where there was a PTO staff breakfast for appreciation, Nurses Week, where students appreciated teachers with various projects, as well as May 13th, we had NHS inductions, where 75 juniors were inducted to be in NHS for their last high school year. Senior prom is this Friday in the Amber Room, and junior prom was last Friday, I believe, May 10th in Portuguese Center. Their theme was Hollywood, and our theme is Gods and Goddesses for the senior prom. Junior prom had around a 275 attendance, I believe, and senior prom should be more around the 600 mark. As for more fun events, we have Coda Festival June 1st at DHS, and we have a lot of upcoming senior events. We get out of school June 5th for seniors. Our graduation is June 13th. And before that, we have June 3rd, our senior award night by invitation, where 92 seniors are being recognized for their achievements at Danbury High School. On June 10th, we have our cap and gown distribution. June 11th through 12th, we have graduation practice. June 6th, we have the senior barbecue. And June 14th will be the last day of school for the rest of DHS, other than seniors. DHS would like to invite all of you guys to our graduation on June 13th. If you're interested, it'll be at 5 p.m. in the Field Stadium. And that's pretty much it. Any questions?
Any questions?
All right.
Thank you so very much. Board subcommittee, community relations.
My reports will be very brief this evening because the two committees that I am chairing, community relations and policy, have not had a meeting since our last board meeting, so I have no updates at this.
Curriculum,
I as well have no updates. We have a meeting next week for curriculum committee.
thank you, Lauren. Finance,
The Finance Committee will meet tomorrow night at 6 o'clock at Beaverbrook. As I mentioned earlier, I would recommend that as many of the board members that can make this, please attend. It will deal with essentially the reconciliation between the superintendent's budget of $181 million down to the appropriations amount of $167 million. That's $10 million given to us by the city and the extra $7 million that we're anticipating. I just want to say that this piece of work that will be presented is fantastic. The job done is tremendous. I want to thank Dr. Casimiro and her team, Mr. Spain, for the work and the detail that went involved in presenting this particular presentation. And I also hope that the superintendent will give us the opportunity to understand what the impact of these cuts are and the fact that she has saved so many jobs. I think it's an incredible task. So thank you.
thank you, Ms. Gennaro. Sites and facility, Louisa.
Thank you. We met last night and we were able to move through the new ed specs for the Career Academy. So that passed committee last night, which is on the agenda for today. Also, we were able to discuss a couple other issues that were happening up at the high school, one being the paper towel dispensers turning into the hand blowers. So that was discussed with more information to follow at our next meeting. I'm not sure we have anything scheduled for June, but if anything comes up, we will.
Thank you, Louisa. Any questions to any of the committee members, chairpersons? Yes.
I have a question about the ed specs. It was brought to my attention through the paperwork here that there's the proposed 7th Academy. We have not even approved that academy yet they're going into specifications already. It has not been brought in front of the curriculum committee, so I'm really looking at it as the cart before the horse.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I just want to acknowledge that academy was part of the original design, and we wound up having to remove one of the academies because I'm not sure if it was a budget-based decision or if there was some other reason behind it, but that was part of the original academy design.
I don't know that we only voted on 6. This is the 7th.
Dr. Casimiro.
So I just want to clarify that the original design, so the ed specs that were approved long ago included a clean and renewable energy pathway. And so when an opportunity presented itself to save several $1 million by converting the middle school portion of the project to not only save money, obviously, as a result of some of the prices that we're experiencing, but also to have a better return on the investment for how we're using the space. So the space in that location originally was supposed to house 360-seat student middle school. Not only did we kind of determine that was an extraordinarily costly expense for a very small school without any kind of economy of scale, but that with the number of additional staff that you would need to staff that building and keep everyone separate, that there was a better use of, would there be a better use of space? And so some discussions ensued. There was a small window with which to make an adjustment, to make the special legislation deadline, to make an adjustment for the state of Connecticut. And so the whole thing happened very quickly, I will say that. And so, but given the fact that we had already had, I think you may have just walked in just a few minutes past yesterday when we were in sites, and I did show a graphic, the original graphic that showed that there are 3 pathways across our academy, except we have this one hanging Chad pathway. which was the clean and renewable energy pathway. It was the only one with 4 in it. We built a greenhouse for it and had hoped. That was sort of the next one that we really wanted to develop. Those were kind of early on in the original ed specs that we had those conversations.
I respect that history, but the bottom line is, it still did not go through the curriculum committee for any detailed approvals. We only approved originally 6 academies. That might have been a hanging chad, but we only approved 6. And now we are talking about a 7th one. And all the curriculum specs, and I feel like the curriculum committee is being bypassed again.
So the 7th Academy was already presented several years ago, correct? So could this have been before Teresa was on the board, it was approved, and then that space was used for middle? I'm clarifying what you were saying. So this could have been something that was approved before you were on the board, correct?
Right, so the topic, the pathway, the clean and renewable energy pathway was something that was already in the original ed specs. This is an expansion to use the space to take that pathway and to expand it into it's not a full, the other academies for 450 students-ish about. This was a 360 seat slot, and so this is an expansion. This is taking that 4th pathway and filling that pathway with the 360, not quite the 450 like the other ones. But so it's this pathway itself had already gone through multiple discussions along with the academies that were laid out here. And we didn't necessarily, let me just clarify, approve the academies per se in terms of the topic. We approved the concept and the designs that had been placed before it. So
I was here when we got the Curtis building and set up the academy specifically with 6 academies. And now, is this an academy or a pathway?
It's a pathway that we're expanding to its own academy.
So that wasn't approved, that has not been presented in that manner. I'm sorry. I feel like you were always putting the cart before the horse and not thinking this through.
I understand that sometimes it can be frustrating that when we come to the table, there's information that we haven't seen before or that has been presented in a different fashion. But I do just want to reiterate, we had discussions, for example, about the solar cells on the roof of the building. I remember questioning Antonio came in to talk about the building specs and to talk about the education specs with us. So I understand your concern, but I personally support the expansion of this particular academy. Every time I'm looking at the paper and seeing new information coming forward about how green energy is going to be a huge source of jobs in the future. So to me, this is an investment that, I feel that we're fortunate to be able to make, because we're taking a space that would have really not yielded much in the way of benefit for the district and converting it to a program that's going to provide a lot of students with an opportunity to access jobs that will be there in the future for them.
Yeah, but
so I just want to express my personal support, that's all.
Believe me, I love green energy. I used to have solar panels on my roof. That's no problem. Problem is here, we have not approached this, where the stats for jobs. In this state, in this local economy, what percentage of jobs will this satisfy? It has not gone through committee. That's my bottom line, and I think the curriculum committee was more appropriate. That's my bottom line.
Okay, it's Louisa and then Juanita, okay? And then Mr. Jamal.
I just want to go over a little bit of the time constraints that we were put under in order to get these plans approved. I think in all fairness, Kara and her team have spent endless amount of hours in trying to get these done and to us, because as of tomorrow, this needs to go to Antonio and get to the state, or we lose a lot. So I understand people's frustrations, as sometimes the way we get to an end result might not be perfect, but at the end of the day, considering what we were up against, I absolutely am, very impressed with how this all came together and how well it came together and how much work was put into it. So I too am I'm in full support of this, I understand the frustration, but I think that under the circumstances, we had no choice but to move through this as quickly as we did.
Ms. Harris?
So I'm listening to the concerns that Teresa is bringing up. And so my questions, a couple of things. At the meeting yesterday, the focus was on repurposing of the rooms. We went floor by floor, the modifications to the spaces, and it all centered around the Academy for Clean Energy and Green Design. It did not, so is it my assumption that the program itself and the curriculum is already established?
So it's an expansion, it's an expansion of the clean and renewable energy. So all the same topics and content that were planned for this pathway will still be found in what is now be titled an academy because it will hold 360 students. So the original, the solar, the clean energy, the greenhouse, which already exists, is all of the same content is applicable here. It's an expansion of the number of students and dividing them into 3 groups. So to take those topics topically and divide them into 3 different groups so that we can get kids into courses and sections appropriately.
So it was programming curriculum that originally had been presented or had gone before the curriculum committee at some point, even prior to that stuff coming on.
So the curriculum committee in general is a relatively new group. We have not, right, and so is the ed specs, trying to remember the original date of the ed specs, but it definitely was workshopped, I believe, and we went through the full work.
Similar to the other academies there are being addressed.
Right, that whole process went through the ed specs, the content, all of these went through the full work.
The programs and curriculum.
Correct.
Mrs. Janelle Daniel?
Just want to call your attention to the motion calls for the approval of the educational specifications. Has nothing to do with any type of programming or curriculum or anything like that, so I just want to see you doing all. I mean, the idea here is for the specifications, not necessarily for the idea or the concept of the academy.
Just to clarify, one of the charges was to make sure that we weren't doing anything too different than what we were already doing, because that would definitely throw a flag at the state in terms of the approval process. So even the ed specs by design, so it was really a matter of changing the footprint of some of the rooms to make sure that it was now all high school usable space and that the labs were in the right spaces for the program.
I just wanted to say that there's some confusion on what the role of the curriculum committee is, and we're looking into that, and we will be going over that. So it's the curriculum committee started in 2022, so we are in our 2nd year of that, and we will be going over what our roles and responsibilities are during that committee, that committee meeting coming up.
If I can just add, also at that meeting, it was clarified that what had come up was what was the cost impact with so that did come up and will be addressed. And also the request was made for the updated budget for the Danbury Career Academies, as well as the staffing projections. So I heard you talk about staff.
I was concerned too about the jobs available. Will we have jobs for our graduates in that field? I mean, it's a discussion. I'm not saying, I'm just objecting to the fact that as our duty as a Board of Ed, the state statute says we have to review curriculum. And I haven't seen that. That's all. I mean, it's wonderful, but I want to see if there's jobs. As far as I know, the health field, there's 16% of the jobs in the state of Connecticut alone, 16% in the healthcare field. That's important. I mean, I want to see backup for this important. I love the academy model, but I want to have more thoughtful input from the board in the curriculum committee. I mean, this discussion should have been in the curriculum committee and not at the board meeting.
You know, I just want to say that, you know, and I think Louisa said it clear, and also somebody else said it. We know that things should go straight in the path, but I totally don't feel that the curriculum committee, when there's a decision to make, and it has to be done, and we have everything lined up, and we have a CEO that's making the decisions, and the committees and everyone working together, that we have to move forward. You know, I hear what you're saying. It should have been brought before the curriculum committee, but if the curriculum committee objected to that, then we would have lost the specification to move this forward, because we have to move on this tomorrow.
Gladys, I understand, but we weren't even given the opportunity. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Terry, I respect your position, and I understand, and I think, you know, this is part of, you know, kind of understanding and working with others as we go forward on how, what it is that is important to folks and how we move things. This did happen very, very quickly. And so I think, you know, it's an assumption that these are all things that we've all discussed before in the past. So I do respect and understand how you feel about this, and I do agree that, you know, perhaps we should sit back and look at some of the roles, but also to make sure that, you know, we're all moving in the same direction together. So this moved quickly, and I think we can work on it.
Thank you.
I kind of want to just back up Teresa here. We haven't had the conversations. There was, I think it was several weeks ago, maybe a couple of months ago, that we talked about signage, and there was a change there as to West Side Middle School. So it almost seems like the conversation might have been happening sooner, or at least that's what it sounds like to me, and perhaps it hasn't. It just, from one meeting to another, there was, you know, $2.5 million, and it eliminated the middle school, like a lot of work. And we were meeting each other every day. So it just seemed like there were some people that were more in the know and others that weren't. And I am on the curriculum committee, so I was surprised, you weren't here that night, that such a drastic change had been made. And we were only being presented at the board. So I have to tend to agree with Teresa that
Thanks.
Okay.
Dr. Casmiro, could you just remind us, when the brainstorming was going on for the original academies, can you talk about how the group came to decide what pathways and academies would be?
Sure. So thank you. And again, this goes, I think, to, you know, we've had different iterations of board membership since the beginning of this conceptual design. And so very early on, we did do several presentations. We have those. Maybe we should revise some of those at some point. That we used National Career Cluster information. So where are the career clusters in the United States? Where is the demand for those, and what is emerging in the labor market? We then looked at regional career clusters as well. And then again in the Connecticut and local Northeast. And we work with our Northeast Regional Workforce Board to help identify those areas. We also use the Department of Labor statistic to research the job outlooks in the job area. And we also held some industry design sprints and brain sprints to understand where the jobs and the jobs in the local market are. In the instance of the Green Academy, for instance, it's not just that you know, the Western Connecticut doesn't necessarily need to have a windmill or a solar factory here for folks to learn about the engineering technologies. You can grow those technologies anywhere. You can build applications to help monitor eco-friendly solutions for companies to bring companies online to help reduce their carbon footprint. Most companies now have a huge investment in reducing their carbon footprint. People don't want to invest anymore. It's a very sensitive issue. They don't want to invest in companies that are considered wasteful or have a large carbon footprint, for example. So the area, the state in general, we're seeing there's lots of there's so many grants that are being posted in this particular area, in the green and energy area, because of the workforce shortage in this area. So the job demand and the skills that folks have, there's a gap between those. And so when you see those types of gaps, government tries to fill those with initiatives, with grants, with workforce development initiatives. We're seeing that at the United States and federal level. We're seeing a lot of federal grants in this area coming through the register. We're also seeing our own governor putting money towards these areas as well. So I do want to have you rest assured that it is a viable area. It would not have made our cut list if it wasn't, and we use the same due diligence when researching the other topics as well. And so all of the ones, and we work very closely with Jay Steele from NCAC, who presented to us so beautifully, and he's a national premier expert. We vetted all of this through him and with him to make sure that we were nailing the areas that were going to be, have an opportunity at the other end of this high school diploma. And so that's really what this is about. It's great making sure that we're positioning students for jobs and for areas that A, they would not normally be exposed to in high school, but B, that there is some sort of connected opportunity, whether it be high wage or high demand.
Any other questions concerning any of the committee chairs or that particular committee? Seeing none, we move on to action item.
We gotta take a vote on this.
We didn't call the motion yet. We're just moving on to the
These are committee report, we don't need them. We're moving on, am I correct? Okay. We're moving on to action item A, Al.
I make a motion that the Board of Education approve the education specifications dated May 22nd, 2024 for the Danbury Career Academy project as recommended by the Sites and Facility Committee and in accordance with 24-10.
Thank you, Al. Motion made by Al. Could you hear a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mr. Janelli. Any discussion? Any questions? Could we all vote? All in favor? Could I hear aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion so carried. Action item B. Teresa?
B, April 2024 financial report. Motion that the Board of Education accept the April 2024 financial report as recommended by the Finance Committee and in accordance with 24-121.
Thank you, Teresa. Motion made by Teresa. Could I hear a second? Seconded by Kate. Any discussion concerning action item B? Seeing none, all in favor, could I hear aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion so carried. Kate, policies.
I'll make a motion that the Board of Education accept for second reading and adopt the following policies per exhibits 24-122 through 24-131 as recommended by the Policy Committee and in accordance with the aforementioned exhibits.
Motion made by Kate,
Second.
seconded by Al. Any discussion on any of these policies? They were lengthy and we had them in our package to read them, and so we had a discussion. We can ask those questions at this time. Everybody's comfortable? Okay. All in favor? Could I hear aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion so carried. Thank you, committee chairs and committee members. Action item D. Juanita Harris.
Board of Education regular meeting schedule. Motion that the Board of Education accept the Board of Education 2024-25 regular meeting schedule in accordance with 24-132.
Motion made by Juanita. Could I hear a second?
Second.
Seconded by Al. Any discussion on the meeting dates? Seeing none, all in favor, could I hear aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion so carried. Superintendent's report.
Thank you. I'll be brief because we're going to probably go into a lot of this in detail on at the financial committee on Thursday. But just to give an update, we've spent the last week or so notifying staff and working with them. It's been a challenging week in the district, to say the least. So even though we only have 2 true ink-slipped employees, if you will, through the process, it's still a lot of movement and a lot of change for many folks in the district. So we had about 50 positions in the district that were open due to resignations and retirements and vacancies. And so if you remember, we instituted a bit of a freeze early on, kind of coming up late winter when we had some financial concerns to close the year. And I believe some of that strategy helped to leave some positions open to help aid in the process through this reduction. So we had about 50 vacancies, retirements, and resignations. So those were positions, not people in them. And then we had about another 48 more positions in the district where we reduced, eliminated, or made a programmatic change. And so we did have to find homes for that second group of people. But because we had so many vacancies and available slots, we were able to match the folks who were reduced into other positions for which they were certified. So it was a very detailed process. We worked very closely with the unions to do that and to ensure that we follow the contracts, all of the different contracts that apply to be able to offer our folks a position in another location somewhere else in the district. So as you can imagine, we had everything from a sigh of relief to folks who were upset that they had to move schools and grade levels and leave their coworkers behind and maybe start a new program. So we're very sensitive to that right now. We're working with our staff. We're going to have more conversations coming in the next week. We have some professional development coming up, so we're going to try to invite people in. We have a big PD day on Friday, and so we made offers to folks who are making some transitions to come and meet some of the different departments and attend professional development schools where they'll be teaching if they choose to accept those positions. So we're working through that now. So we're really thankful and grateful that we have so few actual folks losing their jobs, but it is a difficult time still in the district right now, and will be so for the next few weeks until we close the year and start the year. Our main concern will be making sure that we open up school with full staff. So when you move a lot of folks, and plus you have a tough budget cycle, it can scare people off. So we want to make sure that we're able to still attract folks to come to Danbury for any continued openings that we may have, and also retain the staff that we have that we can just offer those positions to, so we hope everyone stays with us for the fall. Yes.
How's that impacting our teacher diversity plan?
That's a great question. I don't know if it impacts the plan. The plan to create more diversity is still the plan. But I don't think, actually in this process, we're actually putting more bilingual and teachers, particularly Hispanic teachers, into grade level classroom positions. Some of the program changes, so that does change things up a little bit, but it doesn't necessarily affect the plans that we have in place to continue to increase the diversity in our ranks.
Next, can I ask? Yes.
But it doesn't have anything to do with you just reported on. Do we have an update on the AIS numbers?
We're in much better shape than we were. I can give you, I don't want to keep parents from confirming this week, but we did have, I'm not sure if I think I reported out that I did broker a deal with some local superintendents to increase the number of students that we were getting so that we can get that state aid and then have those seats. So I believe we had 17 more come in, and we're confirming, so we invited them to come in off the list, but now they're accepted. So are you still interested? You apply, please take. So we have one of our wonderful assistants calling daily to remind to please confirm. So I can get an update and I can put that in our board memo.
And I just wanted to let you know that I did see our ad on TV.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Great. Thank you. That's Mike got that out there for us. I was concerned last time you said you hadn't seen it, so making sure that we're getting our money's worth on the circulation. Thank you.
Now I know what channels you watch.
Yeah. Okay, and then the last piece, really let's start on the financial side. You know, we're going to be going over more numbers on Thursday in detail, so I'll be plenty of time to ask some more questions there. The last thing is really about update on PDEP and teacher evaluation. So there's been a lot of changes in teacher evaluation, and the state has set forth some new guidelines, and so we have been meeting. I'm sure Al, your Stanford is probably notifying you and doing some different things. So we're working very closely with Ed Advance and Alicia DeCorpo, who's doing training with us. We've evaluated several different educational teacher evaluation models, including our own current Danbury model, the rubrics, everything that goes with that. We are going to have to submit a plan that follows the guidelines, and this board will have to review the plan and adopt the plan, and that goes back to the state, and they'll review it again and give us any feedback on it if we need to make any changes. But we anticipate starting training with our administrators first, so we can be ready to start rolling this out in the fall with our teachers. So you'll be seeing that at some point soon, and our PDEP committee is meeting. Let's see, when is our next meeting? It's coming up the next couple days, first week of June. We're going to have another meeting and have start some training. So once we nail down the pieces and the details, we'll get that to the board for your review, and happy to answer any questions that come with that. That's it.
Are there any discussion items that any board member would like to bring to the front now?
I just have a question, Gladys. On the future meetings, June 11th, we have the superintendent evaluation, but that's also.
We're gonna rework that.
Okay.
So we move on to my report, and I think I asked earlier, how many people are gonna be able to participate in Memorial Day Parade? Only if the skies are clear, no rain. So far we have about 5-6 people. And we need to find out what time that we need to be there. And we don't want to disappoint the group, because Lauren Husband has worked hard to make sure that we have a nice flow. Okay. I've had a conversation with the superintendent that we need to set up with this group, and we might not be able to do it until September, just a special workshop. I was hoping that we could do it before, but we know that the summer months, we're all busy, all the different graduations, and people are going away. But I would like to have that special workshop set up before school closes. So I'm just asking you to keep an open date open, please. I don't know what date, but I think that we need to do that. We talked about earlier briefly the survey that AR presented to the group. And I sent that survey over to the superintendent, and she went through it, and then she said, you know, she didn't see any problem with it. And we want to get that done, and we would like to get that out to members at least before school closes. So that's a go. Then the last those goals tie in with what I'm sort of thinking, and we need to have at least 3 to 5 goals of this board to sort of work alongside the superintendent. Now, if you go back to January, we sent out a list. How do you feel? What are the top priorities that you wanted to deal with this year? We started out with budget, okay? So now I need to pull that list back up, and we have an overall discussion as to how those discussions and those goals are going to work with the superintendent. So, I don't know who's going to be around this summer, but I know I can't go anywhere because of some other issues. But, you know, we can have Zoom, we talk about certain things. And so when September comes, we can start moving on, okay? And even if you're on vacation, you still can Zoom on. So there's a little bit of work that we got to get cleared up. And I like Lauren, the explanation. So when we start having committee meetings, So everyone will know what their role is. So every committee is gonna bring their role when we have our committees and you start your committee meetings. So that's another thing that I think that we wanna work on, and then we can understand what our roles are as board, how much and what we can do as board. Okay. Kate and the Community Relation Committee, we had talked about this earlier. I had a conversation with the superintendent. I think with September, the affair that we was talking about, community affair, engaging parents and students and everyone, we need to have a conversation about that, you and your Community Relation Committee, or whoever wants to participate in, so we can have that set up for September. Okay? So those are a couple of things, and that's enough for me tonight. So we'll get this information out to you, have Carol put it in a form, so we can look at it. And again, Teresa, we did the scheduling for our graduation, and everyone should have received that. And she did it by date, right?
It's by date,
Uh-huh.
yeah, not by.
So everyone has it on their calendar.
So, yeah, I've gotta be chronological.
So, thank you anyway.
You're welcome.
If there are no other discussion, no other communication, you all had communication at your desk, please read it and act appropriate. I need a motion to enter into executive session for the purpose. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion that the Board of Education recess into executive session for the purpose of discussing the performance of interim superintendent Dr. Kara Casimiro with possible action in public session.
Motion made by Kate, seconded by Mr. Janelli. All in favor, could I hear aye? Aye. We're gonna take a I need a motion. Who's making a motion, Kate?
I'll make a motion that the Board of Education hereby elects Dr. Kara Casimiro to serve as superintendent of schools for the period July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2026. And I further move that the Board of Education authorizes its chairperson to execute the related employment contract with suggested corrections and the related memorandum of understanding on behalf of the board.
I second that.
Motion made by Kate, seconded by Al. Could we have a roll call? Al?
Approved.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm in. Okay, Al?
Approved.
Okay. Michelle?
We're gonna be presented with the final
Michelle, are you voting
contract?
yes?
I need clarification.
Okay.
Is there
Okay.
going to be,
Okay, so you upset?
Corrections.
Okay,
I have questions.
okay.
Yes.
Okay?
Yay.
Okay? Lawrence?
Yes.
Louisa?
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Juanita?
Yes.
I'm calling you Al, Mr. Janelli.
Mr. Janelle.
Mr. Janelli, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay,
I would like to abstain.
okay, thank you. Okay, okay, could you pull up the tally of yes?
You didn't
Oh,
vote,
I'm
Gladys.
sorry. Yes.
So 9 yes, 2 abstentions.
Okay, okay. At this point, we have appointed Dr. Casimiro as our superintendent. We have extended a 2-year contract to her at this particular time, and we'd like to say thank you, welcome.
Thank you.
I just want to say thank you very much. It's been a challenging and unprecedented year. And I just want to say thank you for trusting me to lead the district. And I will work very hard for you and for the students and families in this district. So thank you very much. I look forward to working with all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. First, before we all, I know we're all trying to get Dr. Coleman home. And I want to thank everybody, and this has been a very challenging year. We've done a lot. We had a budget, we had all kind of, flares went down and they went up. Some of our hairs got wet and then we straightened it back out, but we all are here for the same reason. And that's to make sure that our district continue to move forward and be a strong district, and that we support each other and work together. And we all are gonna have differences, but we have to work out those differences to move forward. And I can tell you, I'm not a drinking person, but anybody want to have a cup of coffee with me? Okay, I need a motion to.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Moved by Louisa, seconded by Al. Good night.